seats and leave your misconceptions behind. You are about to be taken on a light-level roller coaster ride to the center of your imaginations. So please welcome, live on stage, one of the world's leading masters of mind control. The man who knows exactly what you're thinking. International psychic entertainer, Jonathan Royle.
Good evening, we're going to try that again. We're going to try that again. Pretend we're away from going up. Coming back, Jonathan Royle. Good evening, Manchester, and welcome to what's going to be, for most of you here this evening, I'm sure, a truly interesting, informative and entertaining hour or so. Now, the reason I say most of you is because obviously some of you are going to be volunteers or victims, if I have to pick on you. Because basically, when it comes to mind reading, we can't read minds without people to volunteer when it comes to it. So we need to get you warmed up. Basically, that's going to be nice and simple. This side of the room, we're going to call side A. This side of the room, we're going to call side B, okay? Because when we get volunteers up during the course of the night, we want to encourage them with a round of applause. So we're going to have a quick rehearsal to make sure you've got your clapping hands in order. So we're going to start with side A of the room first, over here. On the count of 3, everyone claps together. Imagine someone's volunteered and we're encouraging them up to the stage. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, now! Now you know, or you've got an advantage, side B, you know how loud side A were. So you know what you've got to beat. So on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Yes, well, it's got to be said, they did have an advantage. So now you know what you've got to beat when you're all together. So we'll try you all together on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3 now! So that's the idea. This tonight is very much about audience participation. Some things tonight may work. That would be good, and if we do, it'll be like, way! And some things may not, because that's the nature of doing experiments. If I ask you to do something when you volunteer, please take it seriously. In other words, if I ask you to lie to me, do the best convincing lie you can. If I ask you to tell me the truth, well, please actually do tell me the truth, okay? Because the only way I can get an idea of your body language, your voice tones, and all the other things I'm going to be using to try and get inside your heads is if you do what I say, essentially. Okay? So, you know, if you lie to me when you're supposed to be telling the truth, or vice versa, it gets a little bit confusing, and we could be here way longer than we need to be. So, let's see if I can warm up before we start with a little experiment involving just 3 cards. I'm going to use this gentleman sat just here. You don't mind if I call you sir during this, do you? No? After all, it's only in fun. Seriously, don't take offence, take a door, take a gate, but please don't take offence. And you can move around and tell people what's funny, love. We've got 3 cards here, okay? Now, hey, they're warming up slowly. We've got 3 cards. Now, these have been picked for a psychological reason. For example, I'm going to give you a clue. The 8 of Hearts is the only red card here. So perhaps that's so that is the one you'll end up picking. Or perhaps it's the Jack of Spades I want you to pick, and that's why it's the only court card amongst the 3. Or perhaps it's the 2 of Clubs, because it's the lowest card of the 3. It's the only really low number. And if I mix them up a bit, still the same 3 cards, it's just that perhaps the order may, let's put them like that, may alter your choice. So sir, name out loud one of the 3 cards that you feel drawn to now.
2 of Clubs.
The 2 of Clubs. And we have not set anything up, have we? No. We've got to make this clear. Nothing tonight's been set up in advance. It's kind of pointless otherwise. 2 of Clubs was the one you freely took. Did that feel like a free choice?
Yeah.
Now, you could have stopped on the Jack of Spades, but you didn't, even though it was the only court card amongst all of those up here. You could have stopped on the 8 of Hearts, also with the blue back. The only red card, but you didn't. Somehow, fortunately for me, otherwise this bit looks really crap, you picked the only one with the red back. Thank you. 15 days, we're warming up now. Let's move this over here slightly, where it would have been set a The toilet wasn't over there. Fantastic. This is where I need some volunteers. I need 5 perfect strangers to come and join me on stage. We could do this in a sort of throw out way if I had something to throw out at you, but I might end up hurting you. So let's literally put your drink down. So if you'd like to make your way to the stage, everyone will give you a round of applause. Big thank you here. Make your way to the stage. If you'd like to make your way to the stage, that's fantastic. That's wonderful. Here, come on. Volunteer number 4, fantastic. And finally, this gentleman here, volunteer number 5. Make your way out. Come on, there's more people coming. Stand facing the front, smile. We're in show business now. You may need to move you over there ever so slightly. Now, I don't wish to depersonalise you, but we are going to give you numbers. There's 2 reasons for this. One, it becomes easier in a moment because I'm not going to be able to see a blind thing. The second reason for that is I'm absolutely crap at remembering names. But for the benefit of the audience, loud and clear, what's your name, sir?
Alan.
Alan, nice to meet you, Alan. And we've got
Wayne.
Wayne, nice to meet you, Wayne. Keith, nice to meet you. Adam, nice to meet you too, sir. And Gordon. But for the purposes of the next 5 minutes or so, I would like you to become known as number 1. I'd like you, Wayne, to become number 2. I'd like you, Keith, to become number 3. I'd like you, Adam, to become number 4. And I'd like you, have you got a ring on at all? You have. Will that ring come off? Can you take that ring off? Because what I've got here is a padlock, a combination lock. I don't want you to see what that combination is, so I'm going to keep my hand over it. And we're just going to pop that on there. And I'll just see, you can't see, fantastic. Make sure that that is now locked. Can you just confirm that that is indeed locked onto there? And I mean, you can probably see there it's on 0699 at the minute. If we just put it on, say, another number, just so that everyone knows that the number's changed. Can you check that that's still locked? Basically, only one person at the moment knows the combination to that, and that's me. Okay. And to be honest, I've slightly half forgotten what I set it at. Because I made a prediction before the show, which we'll come to later on. That's fantastic. So, number 1, I'd like to give you a little bag. Take hold of that. Number 2, take that bag. Number 3, number 4, and number 5. In a few moments' time, not until, first of all, I'm going to be blindfolded, so I can't see, just to make it that little bit harder. When I am blindfolded, I'm going to give you some very simple instructions, each of you. Now, hopefully, you've each got on you an object, whether that be a coin, even if it has to be just a coin from your pocket. As long as it's an object you've got on you, you've each got an object of some description, whether it's a coin, don't let me know what it is, whether it's a coin, or a lighter, or a credit card, anything. Have you each got some kind of object on you that you think could fit in that bag? Yes? Fantastic. In that case, we can proceed. I have here a blindfold. Now, I'd just like you to confirm that that is indeed, yeah, that is definitely, yeah, can't see a sausage. Now, that is where this is going to become so much harder for me in a few moments' time. So when I give you actual instructions, as it were, I'd like you to follow them as clearly as possible. So, it was number 5, Gordon, wasn't it? Can you just tie me up, as it were, so that I can't see a blind thing. Fantastic. And if you could just do me a favour so I don't knock into the table, because I've now lost all comprehension of space and time. On the front of the table, Gordon, you should find a black bag. Can you hand me that black bag? Thank you very much indeed. Then can you take your position in line? The 5 of you, I'm also going to turn my back, so even though I'm blindfolded, that way it's even harder, in case anyone thinks for any reason I can see down my nose or whatever. Take an object, whether it's a coin, a credit card, a watch, a ring, a lighter, or anything else you've got on your person. Place it into your bag, and then as best you can, pull the cord at the top so that the bag is, well, basically so the object's inside and I can't see. And when you've done that, if you could all just indicate yes?
Yes. Yeah.
You've done that, that's fantastic. In which case I'm trying to, without seeing a thing, try and open this bag, which isn't easy. If I suddenly drop everything, number 5, I'll need you to pick it up for me. Because what I forgot to mention, I've got to reach in here, is that I've got inside this bag some balls. Now these are different coloured balls. Everybody, I don't even know if I'm facing the right way, I don't know if you can see the audience. 4 of these are green, and 1 of them's black. These are to represent the theme of this evening, which is egg, sausage and peas that we'll come to later. 4 of them are actually pea coloured, and 1 of them is still pea coloured, but it's gone off. It's a black pea. So, now that you've got the bags, number 1, can you pass your bag to person number 2? Okay, now if you could now pass your bag, mix up those 2 bags, number 2, and then pass both bags to person number 3. And then person number 3, mix the bags up, and then pass them to person number 4, who will also then mix up, now 4 bags you will have, and then pass those 4 bags to person number 5, who will mix up the 5 bags, so we don't know what order whatsoever they're in, only you know what object's yours, and then if person number 5 will be so kind as to place them on the front of the table, perhaps on top of the decks of cards, just somewhere, anywhere so it's on the front. That's brilliant. Okay, and then we need person number 1 to come over here if they'd be so kind. And I'm just going to give these balls a shake. In a moment I'm going to ask you to take one, but first, hopefully, are you here yet, by the way, number 1? Oh, you are, cool. Could you just select one of the ESP cards from the stand, pick it up and place it in your pocket, whichever one you want. And I will just literally give these balls a bit of a jingle, a bangle, put that in your pocket so nobody can see it. And then if you'd be so kind as to remove 1 ball, keep it inside your hand so nobody else on stage or anyone can keep it, and take your position back at number 1. That's fantastic. Your person number 2 can now make their way over and just literally select one of the ESP cards, place that into one of your pockets to give the balls a bit of a jingle and a jangle, and then if you can remove 1 ball from the bag, keep it inside your hand so you don't even know what it is yet. Brilliant. And then if person number 3 could come and do the same, take 1 card out the stand, place it in your pocket, so I definitely don't know where it is, and remove 1 ball from the bag. You got 1 ball? Okay, fantastic. Where are we up to? Person number 4. Okay, could you take 1 card? Yeah, and then could you take either of the, should be just 2 balls left at the moment, to be honest. Okay, and finally person number 5, if you could take, you've probably only got 1 choice left, to be honest, and you've probably only got 1 choice of ball left, but keep that in your hand. Fantastic. So everyone now should have a card in their pocket, yeah? And everybody should have a ball in their hand. What I'd like you to do is bring both your hands together, take a little peek at your ball so only you know what colour it is. 4 of you will have a green ball, 1 of you will have a black ball. Don't give anyone a clue on the stage as to what colour ball you've got. Have you done that? Yeah. You're hiding them now, yeah? Okay, in which case, now that they're hidden, off that can come. Whoa, it's bright in here. Blimey, that is a bit of a shock to the system. Oh, blimey. Okay. Just get my senses back. So you each know the colour of your balls, yeah? I hope so. That's why we left it till after 8 o'clock. I want you to think of the colour of your balls, but what's going to happen here is I'm actually going to ask each of you a question. Have you got the black ball? Now I want you all to answer yes, okay? This will mean that 4 of you are lying, and 1 of you is telling the truth. Does that make sense? But I want you to be as convincing as you can, don't give me any clues. I am trying to tune into your body language, and we're going to try and work out who has got what. So, number 1, have you got the black ball?
Yes.
Number 2, have you got the black ball?
Yes.
Number 3, have you got the black ball?
I have.
Number 4, have you got the black ball? Number 5, have you got the black ball? Okay. I think you answered way too rapidly. You were too certain of yourself, which quite often is a trait of people who are making something up and they're prepared for it, because when you're telling the truth you tend to actually think about it more than when you're lying. So I would imagine that that means you were lying and you've got a green ball up in your hand, let's say. Got a green ball, person number 1. Okay. You got the black ball?
Yes.
Have you got the black ball?
Yes.
Hesitation, trying to trick me, but his eyes, if you looked, he didn't believe what he was saying. So I would say you're actually lying and you've got the green ball.
Yeah.
The green one, the green pin. 2 down, 3 to go. It gets progressively, you think easier but harder. Have you got the black ball? Have you got the black ball? Oh, I'm so Have you got the black ball?
Yes.
You nodded as well. As you said yes, like you were forcing it. So I'd say you're lying and you've got a green ball. Yes, another one! Okay, 3 down, 2 to go. This is literally make or break time because obviously if I get the wrong person. Have you got your balls tightly in your hands? Excuse the pun, yeah? Put your hands out in front of you. We're doing a thing called muscle reading. When people lie, they become more tense. Their body becomes more tense. So I'm going to gently push down your arms as I ask you the question. But look directly at me. Have you got the black ball?
Yes.
Okay. Have you got the black ball?
Yes.
A lot looser. I said you tensed up. You tensed up. So therefore you are lying. You've got a green ball up in your hand. There's the green ball. Just bring that into the black ball. Yes, indeed. 5 out of 5. More. Good. That gives me a sense of who I'm dealing with now, so that should hopefully make this that bit easier for me. We've got 5 bags here. Now, only you people on stage know what's in these bags. Only you people on stage know who owns what. So if I was to take an object out, you may react to it and give away these unconscious clues, telling me what it is. So I don't want you to do that. And in fact, I'm going to try and make it harder because we all have natural body energy. You know when you go into a pub or a bar and sometimes you see somebody and you think, I'm not going near that person. You don't know what it is, but you just know there's something not right about that person. It's not the way they're dressed or anything. You just get a vibe. Women call it women's instinct, but men, it's like sometimes you have that instinct in a nightclub, yeah? And then later on in the night, they'll end up being the trouble causer, and you end up saying to the person next to you, look, I told you so. We have that vibe, and you can practice that. Now, there's no thing, I don't know if anyone's heard of the Native American Indians, but there's a thing called shamanism, and it's about energy points in the body. We all kind of have them. And one of them is located right where your, yes, gentlemen, get ready for this, right where your, no, where your belly buttons is, okay? This is what they call the base chakra energy point. Were you happy that these are all being mixed along the way? So it really doesn't matter if I take one of these at random, we won't know basically whose it is. Okay, what I'd like you to do, because essentially speaking, your belly button is your life force. It's where you know, when you're born, you cut the umbilical cord, and it tells me and people a lot about you if, well, just the way you uncover them. So, could you uncover your belly buttons, please? Indeed. Now, the level of eagerness, or lack of eagerness in doing that, immediately gives us an idea about people. Now, some people have got sort of very much what I call a flat belly button. It's neither an innie or an outie, which means that tends to indicate an individual who's very much down to earth, calls a spade a spade. I wouldn't say... doesn't tend to snap like that, is very considered. When they do snap, ends up really going off the handle, but can restrain themselves a lot more than the average person, can see all sides to a situation. Does that make sense to you? And that's because you're on the level. Now you've got a bit more of an innie belly button, which sort of goes inwards a bit. Now that means you're actually, despite what you give out, this is about who you really are, so obviously you could lie here, but that gives me the impression that you're kind of actually more of an introverted person. You put a good impression onto people of being very confident, but truly inside you're actually quite very much the kind of person you like to keep yourself to yourself. Would that be fair and accurate? Oh, we're getting a vibe here. This is good. This is good. If you can have a little look at your belly button. Now we've got a slightly innie, but it's also kind of going from left to right. Okay, left to right, like on an even. I call it like a platform. You're going along. So it's one of those. I think you're one of those people who once you've come up with an idea, you really, really, really focus on it, and you just keep plodding forward towards it. And it doesn't matter about obstacles or you know, walls in the way or people trying to put you off. You become so bloody focused on that that some people might even say it's pig-headed, but for you it's determination and focus. Does that make sense to you? If you're being honest about it? Fantastic, that gives me a vibe about you, fantastic. Looking at your belly. Oh, this is very interesting. It's sort of an innie, but also it kind of, it's very deep. It's very deep. To me, I would say that kind of indicates a very deep thinker, someone who doesn't outwardly look like they're worrying, but actually contemplates things a heck of a lot, thinks about them a lot, then overthinks them, and then starts worrying about the fact that they're worrying, and gets caught in a sort of loop, and that becomes almost a little bit like procrastination because you're tied up in that worry cycle. Would that sound accurate and fair to yourself? It would. And finally, oh, we've also almost very nearly an even playing field, but it sort of goes semicircular, up, then over, which would kind of indicate to me somebody who comes up with great ideas will start to put them into action and things are happening really well, but then gets distracted and goes to the next great idea. Does that make sense to you? Yeah, fantastic. Okay, well, got a vibe with your belly buttons. I'm trying to think who. I can feel through your bag. This isn't psychic, this is a ring. I can tell that by feeling, I'll just point that out. But I'm not going to look at the ring, otherwise I could guess perhaps what age a person might wear a ring like that. I feel that I'm going to go with... Don't give me any clues, but just hold on to that for the moment. Just at the top there, that's great. Keep hold of that for now. We'll take another one of these at random. Oh, fantastic. Can I just see your belly buttons again? I feel that... I'm just going to have to switch. No, I'm not getting a vibe. It's like I get energy up here and down here. I'm going to give you that for now. Keep hold of that. We may change them around. I really don't know. I feel that. Actually, you know what? Can I just see your belly button a second? Do you know what? Yeah, I'm going to give you that. I'm going to give you that. Keep hold. This is strange. What have we got left? We've got this one. Can I see your belly button, number 3? Keith, wasn't it? Bloody hell, I've remembered names. This is amazing. I'm going to give you... I'll give you that for now. I'm not going to commit. Don't open it yet. Okay. And that only leaves you, number 5. By the way, was it good for you, chaps? I am going to go with this. I'll give you that. As I said, some of these things tonight won't work. That's just the simple nature of this room. Some things will not work. Some may. It's about body language. Person number 1. I'm going to ask you on the count of 3 to open your bag, take out the object. If it is your object, hold it in the air and say hallelujah. Everyone will go mad with applause. If it isn't, obviously don't do that. Okay. So, 1, 2, 3, just open your bag. Take the bag off you, give you room to get your applause if we've got it right. Is it? Good! Yes, indeed! Thank God for that. Okay, number 2. Same thing, can you open your bag? Take out the object. If it is indeed correct, hold it aloft in the air and let everyone know and say hallelujah. Number 3, open your bag. Please, take out the object. If that is your object, hold it in the air, say hallelujah. See your belly buttons again, please. Star. Remove the card. I think you've got the star. I think you took the star. Oh, the square. One wrong. I told you these things do not always work. I'm going to go with the cross. Yes! The cross! In fact, you two gentlemen can make your way back to your seats. Give them a round of applause. Go on, I will. Got it wrong before, but we'll go with star. Let's see what you've got. It's the star! Thank you, sir. Oh, blimey. Person number 4. Open your bag. Take out the object. If that is the correct object, hold it aloft, please. And say hallelujah. Oh, that's easy. I'd say you'd have gone for the wavy lines. Wavy lines! Give me a round of applause to go back to the lines. Which, this is not particularly psychic, process of elimination. That object should be yours when you hold it up and everyone should go mad with applause. And that should mean that you've got the circle. And you've also got the circle. No, don't stop. No. By the way, was that a round of applause or somebody put the chips in? I knew there'd be one person left on stage. Basically, whether we got them right or wrong, process of elimination would mean you had to have that card, you had to have that object. Well, not necessarily, it could have totally gone wrong. However, the one thing we do have of yours, Gordon, is your ring. Rings, looks like belly buttons. Yeah. Now, we've not set anything up, have we, Gordon? Honestly. For the first time tonight, it's up to you whether you want to say this out loud or keep it to yourself. But I'd like you to, if it's okay, to say it out loud what your year of birth was. 1954. 1954. Gordon, what I'd like you to do, I'm just going to hold that very carefully there so you can see I'm not touching the padlock. I'd like you to alter that to number 1 and a 9. I think you have to get them on the line, but 50, get the 5. And I made a prediction before the show, and hopefully 1954. Keep hold of the padlock, let's see. Just get them onto the lines, they're actually on the line. 1, 9, 5, 4. Open that, take your ring. That was the year you were born. Give them a round of applause and go back to the audience. Wow, oh, brilliant, we're warming up, we're nearly there. Right, we will be having an interval very shortly. When we do, we'll be having a quick 5-minute break for 10 minutes, which usually lasts about 15, which means we'll start again after 20 minutes. The second half is where we really step things up. But before we do, I need two more volunteers, so I'm going to pick this lady here, because you're on the front and it's nice and simple. I'm going to pick this lady here, if I may. Alright, give them both a round of applause. Seat there, my darling, and if you'd like to take a seat there, we'll come to them in just a few moments' time. Fantastic. I just need to tune in with you both because you're going to try basically something rather interesting and impossible in a minute. So we're going to use you first, my darling. What's your name?
Michelle.
Michelle, nice to meet you. There are 4 books here. Katie Regan, One Thing Led to Another. Mary and Elizabeth. A Woman of Consequence, Faye Weldon. They're just cheap books for a tenner, basically, for the works. Not read them. Whichever book you select from these is the one you're going to take hold of and we're going to use. So, just free choice. Okay?
Yeah.
That's a free choice. Keep hold of that. We'll come to it in a minute. Really doesn't matter, but I'm going to use this to lean on, but I'll just check. I've got in here, I've got 346 pages. Can you just check that you've got at least 346 pages in that book?
Yes.
There is. Cool. Is there more than that?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Fantastic. Okay. I will also need a pad and a pen in a moment. I'm going to walk over here, otherwise it looks like I'm looking over your shoulder. Okay. I'd just like you to say stop.
Stop.
Okay. Would you like the left or the right?
Left.
Left. What page number have you stopped on?
198.
Okay, fine. Page 198 in your book. I'm going to turn my back to you so I can't see. Find that page 198 and look at the top line of that page, if you'd be so kind,
Yes.
and read it silently in your mind so you've got a sense of that first line. Yeah?
Hold on.
One of the glasses.
I'm in depression. Okay.
Okay, just think of that in your mind. I'm starting to get a sense. I'm just going to go with whatever words jump into my head. Remember, sometimes this could be a little bit off, but if it's somewhere close, we're going to count that as a hit. Could you read out loud the first line on that page, 198?
Ellen said I was too clever. It put men off.
Oh,
My mother.
that's enough. What I picked up on, but we're closely in, what I got was, I don't know if you can see this is somewhere close, but I got Ellen, I got the word is, to, I got the word close, she and said.
Wow.
These are words that I actually picked up. We didn't actually get the sentence, but I say that's pretty close, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, well done. Okay, we're in tune. We're in tune. The fact we're in tune is a good start, but that means are we in tune? Because what we're going to try is with all three of us. Now I've got three different coloured envelopes here, okay? We've got a green one, a blue one, and a red one. Now these can represent different things. Green can mean jealousy, the green-eyed monster, a negative colour. Blue can mean water. It could represent, or it could represent healing in some things. Red can be anger, or it can be a bright, uplifting colour. Now, people have different preferences to colours, but I do know that if I was to paint my house green, and my friends came around, they go, "What are you doing, Jonathan, painting your house green? That looks awful." But I might personally like it. People have different reasons for liking different colours. So, what I'd like you to do is just name out loud one colour for me.
Blue.
Blue. You've named out loud blue. Okay. In which case, blue is the colour that you will have. Keep hold of that. We'll come to it in a minute. You could have had green, but perhaps you were bought off by me saying it's the colour of jealousy. You could have had red, perhaps you were bought off. But by now you should have realised I will be using tricks and things to try and deceive you, to try and put you off these things. Because inside the red one, it says, do not choose. Inside the green one, it also says, do not choose. Could you open up the one that you freely selected? Remove what is inside and let everybody see. It says,
I predict you will choose the blue envelope.
I think we're in tune, this is good. We're in tune. Fantastic. That means hopefully this next impossibility may become possible for the few moments that we're going to attempt it. So, I'd like if you just stand up a moment, Michelle. Just sit back down there, that's brilliant. I'm going to give you this pad and pen. We'll leave that there on your lap, we'll come to it in a minute. If you'd like to just stand up a little bit, a bit more there. If you'd like to sit down. put that pad and pen on your lap. We'll come to that in a minute. Okay, Michelle? What I'd like you to do, you're right, just put the pen down. Okay, can I explore your hand? Brilliant. Just look at your hand. Take a nice deep breath in, because in a moment I just need you to close your eyes so that you can relax. And as you relax, you'll be able to concentrate more in a moment. So just let your head fall forward, eyes remaining tightly closed, and put your hand onto the pad. You can sit steady and firm in the chair, eyes remaining tightly closed at all times unless I say otherwise. And if you can just take your hand there, don't worry about the pen, just look at your hand, just bring it towards your face. It's just a lot easier to close your eyes. If you close your eyes, you keep them closed, you let your head fall forward. Keeping your eyes closed means you can relax, and it means you can concentrate. Fantastic. Now the person that I've just touched, keeping your eyes closed, you're going to be the sender. In a moment you're going to, when I ask you to draw an image and project that to the other person, the person I haven't just touched, you're going to be the receiver. You're going to draw the first thing that comes into your mind. You won't know how you're doing this, you'll just know that you're doing it, and it'll be instinctively, and we'll see what happens with this. This is just an experiment. So for now, both of you, 1, 2, 3, open your eyes, wakey back in the room. Fantastic. Both of you, I'll stand here. Don't look at each other. Open your pads, look down, and just take your pad, okay? Just open your pad. Brilliant. And just start drawing now. To start drawing now, I'm going to give you the count of about 30. 30, 29, 28. It doesn't have to be a work of art. 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 2, 1, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And whatever you've got at that point, if you can tear out your page from the book, that'd be fantastic. And we'll just take that through. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Thank you very much. Take the pens back off you, by the way, as well. I'm just going to turn you back into an audience. Sorry about that. This first half has literally never been done before. Okay, on the count of 3, this could really the work or not, but we're going to come to you first. Keep your piece of paper there. Can you open up your piece of paper? Show everyone what you got. A tree. A tree? Okay. Okay. Don't worry, let's see if we're anywhere close, because this is not about me, this is about picking up vibes. So if you can open up what you've got. Got a house? Was the tree near a house? I don't know. That's not quite... we're not going to class that as a hit. These things don't always happen. Fear not. If that had worked, everyone would have gone absolutely crazy. But these things don't always occur. It's not your fault. It's about us tuning in. So I need one final volunteer up here on stage to act as an adjudicator for these 2 people. Okay. Somebody who's not related to them, so I know you 2 people are. Can we borrow... Perhaps the gentleman there. Give him a round of applause as he makes his best work. So move that slightly forward. We're going to find that useful in a few moments' time. You don't know anyone who's on stage, do you? Fantastic. So there's no way you could have set anything up with them or anything like that. Brilliant. In which case, we are going to use this. In a moment, I'm going to ask you to do some very simple tasks first. You're going to act, as it were, as the adjudicator. Well, the first task is, can you give them a shuffle so there's no way anyone can know what order they're in? By the way, I have a prediction. We'll come to that later on. Let's move that back slightly so we've got an area for you to actually feel. Pretty happy there. Now put them back in the same order you started with. No. So, if you'd like to hand those cards to the lady over there so she can give them just a little bit of a quick shuffle. That way we truly, truly do know that there is no way I could know or you could know what order they're in, and then if you'd like to get them back off that lady, that would be fantastic. Now I want to touch them as little as possible, so I'm going to take the cards and I'm literally just going to sort of spread them like that so you can't really see the faces, and I'm going to run this joker down the side and just say stop at any time. Okay, you stop there, so we're going to place it in there. I need you to remember the card that you're about to see. Remember it. Keep that clearly in your mind. Okay? You couldn't see that, could you? Good. That's why I put that divider there. You're not supposed to be able to.
Right.
Remember that card. Brilliant. Now, if you can take those cards, give them another shuffle, one final shuffle. And then, just place them, if I can, just down there. I feel that we have more of a success with the words in the book. That was more difficult, so I'm going to give you a pad. Actually, let's just pull that out first. I'm going to give you that, so you're ready with it, and a pen. Keep that there for a moment. What we're going to ask you to do is you're still in that slightly relaxed state. So I'm going to take this other deck because I don't want to touch those cards that have been shuffled, otherwise I get accused of cheating, and this is about an experiment, nothing more. And I'd like you to just let one card flood your mind, okay? And then whichever card just flooded your mind, write it down, okay? Fantastic. So the situation is this. You're writing down one card. Brilliant. Keep that, fold it in half so that nobody knows what it is. You've got a card in mind. Pick a number between 1 and 52, sir. Say it out loud.
17.
17. Keep that there, don't let us see it yet. For the first time, in fact not yet, take the cards, can you pick them up, and can you deal down, face down onto that table area, one card face down, then a second, then a third, a fourth, a fifth, a sixth, and so on. 7, 8, till we get to 17. And stop when you get to number 17. 17, yeah?
17.
Okay. What was your card, by the way? We'll put that there for the one. Name out loud your card.
Jack of Hearts.
The Jack of Hearts. I'll come to you in one, sir. You've got a piece of paper there, okay? There is an envelope here. I'm going to take the envelope. I've got a prediction. I made that beforehand. You had a free choice of cards, the Jack of Hearts. I placed one card into this envelope. And the card that I hoped would be selected was, I've forgotten myself, but it was indeed the Jack of Hearts. Go. That's only phase 1. Phase 2. Remembering that these cards were shuffled, not by me. I did not touch the cards, they were shuffled by the 3 people on stage. You randomly selected a number between 1 and 52, didn't you? There's no way I could know that. You had a card in mind, you didn't write it down, nothing's been set up. So there is absolutely no way I could have known that'd be the Jack of Hearts. It'd be even more impossible for anyone else to know. Could you open up your piece of paper and show everyone the card that flooded your mind, the card you felt almost an instinct to write down? Could you open it up? What is it? The Jack of Hearts, give her a round of applause. She's getting really creepy. In fact, give that lady a round of applause. Thank you very much for getting up. If you go back to the audience, give that lady a round of applause. Thank you very much for being alive. Go back to the audience. So here's the thing. A deck of cards was shuffled. I didn't touch them. But somehow, the card that was thought of, not only did I manage to predict, but this lady managed to pick up on. You picked a random number. I'll take the rest of them off you now. Can you pick up the one card we stopped at? Can you pick it up? Fantastic. Hold on to that for the big reveal time. This is the Holy Grail of mentalism for those people who are magicians, hypnotists. This generally screws up, but if it works, everyone will go majorly mad with applause. Show them the card! It's the Jack of Hearts! Back to the audience, I'd like to try one final thing before the interval. I just need to find a pen. This is where table management comes in, the first time we've ever having done this particular section of the show. Okay, we've got a card there, ESP testing. I'd like you to take that card, take the pen, and I'd like you to, because you're good with numbers, you fortunately went for the number I wanted you to, so we're going to go for this one. I'd like you to write down a number between 30 and 90. Any number between 30 and 90. And tell me when you've done that.
Okay.
Yeah, and then put the lid back on the pen and pop the pen on the table, if you'd be so kind. And then obviously make sure the card's face down so I can't possibly know
Put it on the table.
what's on it. Pop it face down in there so I can't know what it is. But do think of it. Oh, by the way, where was the pen? Alright, right. Think of it, I'm going to try and pick up on your body language. I'm going to try and get that number. Okay, two even numbers, two odd numbers, or one even, one odd. He's not giving anything away by his face. Now, okay. Actually, I think he probably would have gone about midway to try and trick me. So I'm going to go with... If I've got this wrong, please don't obviously spout out your number, because I will try and have a second attempt. But, was your number 43? No. Okay, well that's shitted that trick up for tonight, hasn't it? Tell you what, round of applause to go back to the audience. Keep your number in mind. Keep your number in mind. Hey, I've got a number in mind. Sorry, I haven't got any more of those cards, so let's use this. I'm getting a vibe that you went for, on the scale of things, quite a low number. It was very close to being 30, actually, wasn't it? That true, Ryan? Was it near to being 30? No? Okay, I really can't vibe in on you today on the number. So, let me try and do something to redeem myself. Just tell me what your number was.
62.
Pardon?
62.
62, correct! Because what we're going to do is, if I do that and I do that, and I do that, and I do, that, and then I do maybe that, I might use that number, and if I use that number there and I use that number there, if I was to go with that number there and I was to go with that there and that there, if I perhaps went with that number there and that number there, then it's quite clear that I knew what your number was right from the start. Thank you. The number was 62, yeah, wasn't it? 62. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen, add this in your head. 42 plus 11 is 53. 53 plus 8, 61 plus 1 is 62. We'll do it again. 41 and 2 is 43, plus 7 is 50, plus the 12, 62. You can add this up yourself, but 3 plus 44 plus 9 plus 6 is 62. 10 plus 5 plus 4 plus 43 is 62. The first time I saw this, I too was so amazed I forgot to applaud. Because it gets better. Because, ladies and gentlemen, 43, 6, 12 and 1 actually does, if you add it up, become 62. As does 9, 4, 7 and 42, that's 62. As does 44, 5, 2 and 11, that's 62. As does 8, 41, 3 and 10, that's 62, all in that direction as well. No, because it gets better. If we go diagonal, 1 and 7 and 44, plus 10, take a moment, you'll see is 62. 8 plus 2 plus 9 plus 43, add them up yourself, it is 62. If we take the four corners, number 8, number 1, number 43, and number 10, add the 10 to the 43, 53, 53, 61, it's 62. Yes. Whoa. It gets better. Because if you were to take these four numbers here, 41, 2, 11 and 8, it's 62. You take those four numbers there, add them together, it's 62. Take those four numbers there, add them together, it's 62. Take those four numbers there, add them together, it's 62. Take the 4 in the middle, it adds up to 62. Take the 4 there, 62 there, 62. Every bloody direction is 62. Ladies and gentlemen, it adds up to 62. 22 different ways. My name's Jonathan Royle. We're going to have an interval. We'll see you in the second half. Thank you.